Okay, what is going on, CYPRX advanced YouTubers? Welcome back to another CYPRX YouTube video breakdown. As always, if you're interested in learning about cryptocurrencies, commodities, indices, foreign exchange, please go ahead and consider subscribing to the YouTube channel. In today's video breakdown, I had mentioned to you guys on Twitter that I was going to be hosting a live Zoom call. So here is that live Zoom call for anybody that missed it. We went over some very interesting things on XRP price action, showing you guys in detail manipulation, time in the market, how banking institutions trade against the retail herd. Make sure that you guys stick around for this YouTube video. Really do appreciate the love and the support. Make sure that before you head out, you are subscribed to the YouTube channel and that you smash that thumbs up button. It does help boost the YouTube algorithm. Without further ado, let's dive into today's video breakdown. Man, I got some crazy shit to show you guys today. We're going to go over manipulation. I'm going to show you guys, I don't know if anybody else caught the move, but me and Emiliano here at CYPRX, we caught a nice little XRP scalp today, both trading on CYPRX. Emiliano just told me he uses CYPRX too. I like the broker because of the communication between customer and retail. They're very easy to talk about. I'm not sponsored by them or anything. They're just, I think their customer service is outstanding. So that's the leveraged account of my choice. But anyways, we're going to go over liquidity. I'm going to show you guys some crazy retail trading buy trap bullshit moon boy that just happened in the market. It is crazy. It's so crazy how manipulative this market is and how these people with thousands of followers, excuse my language if anybody of the younger generation is watching, but are tweeting this stuff out, and you see the retail trap in the market via the CYPRX strategy that I teach the students. And then all you have to do is wait and watch that get tapped out of the market. Wait and see that the market makers are involved with the market by understanding pattern identification and being patient till that all plays out, and not reacting to the market until the market shows you a sign that it wants to do what you want it to do. And when you can do that, I'm telling you, you can snipe this market left and right like it's nothing, like it's drinking water. So we're going to cover that. Then I'm also going to cover at the end of this a little psychology spiel talking about why it is that you're personally trading. Is it the love for money? Is it because you actually love doing this? And kind of compare the two and what's going to make you more successful in the end, all right? So anybody that's here that's not one of the CYPRX students, you guys have to understand I'm probably not going to give all the gems that I would disclose to the CYPRX students because this is going to be a public Zoom call. So if I'm a little bit tedious with what it is that I'm saying, it's because I'm attempting to, subdue a little bit of the information that we give out to the CYPRX students, okay? So without further ado, let me share my screen. Let me first just start off by showing you guys the general Discord chat where I had told the students this morning that I was purchasing XRP, XDC, some LCX, and some Casper. So hopefully you guys can see my screen. Right here, 6:47 a.m. I had let them know I was buying LCX, Casper, XRP, XDC, XLM. Usually 9 times out of 10, when I'm adding to my crypto bags, I let the students know. Lately, I've been in the process of moving, so my schedule's been a little bit hectic. All right, cool, boom. So in today's video breakdown, covering technical analysis, can you guys see my screen, my XRP charts? All right, so overall, everything that I'm gonna break down to you guys in the market is gonna lead up to how we were able to catch this trade here on CYPRX. Again, I don't know if any of the other students caught this move, but I guarantee you if they weren't looking at GJ this morning, they definitely could have caught this XRP move because the CYPRX confluence is played out to the freaking tick. Like, it's insane when you start to really identify what it is that I'm attempting to teach people in this market, how confluent your trading becomes in a sense of, okay, I know when not to enter into the market, and I know when I can get an edge in the market based off of recognizing certain patterns, waves, fluctuations, rejections at psychological levels, things of that nature, right? So when you can start to identify that stuff, trading becomes, I remember when I was a beginner, I would jump on the charts and I'd be like, all right, I got to trade Asia, London, and New York to be successful. I got to stay up and look at the charts all the time to be successful. That is not the case, okay? Not at all. Ask any of the CYPRX students, picking a certain session that fits your time frame and your personal schedule, and then attempting to see the confluences for what they are in that given session gives you such a better edge in the market. And that's where I teach the students about managing their time properly and executing trades during certain trading sessions during specific times, right? Everything in the market is planned and programmed. Nothing just happens for no reason. Okay, so in today's video breakdown, I'm going to show you guys how all of that information led up to us scalping the market. And that's the goal as a trader, is to piece as many things together that you possibly can to give yourself a more higher probability to win a trade. Because again, nothing is guaranteed in this market. This market right now could go to zero for all we know. We don't know that, right? We operate in an uncertain environment. So your goal as a trader is to create some sense of certainty, at least in a sense of that your brain understands. You can't actually create certainty in this market. But if you can give yourself a proper risk to reward ratio and wait for a pattern that's more likely to play out to end in profit, then taking that opportunity as an adult is the last thing that you have to do in protecting your capital, right? So anyways, enough of that spiel. We're going to go into price action starting from 2 days ago. I'm going to first give you guys some bullish targets that we would need to break, and then go over those bullish targets and why those areas are significant in which we would need to break back above bullish in order to confirm any type of bullish momentum move forward on XRP. And those two psychological levels are 58 cents and 54 cents as of right now. Okay, so I'll say that again, 58 cents and 54 cents. If we can see price action break above these highs and hold in the form of some type of bullish support, right? Whatever the case may be, whatever you want to call it personally, if price action can maintain above these levels, then that means, personally, in my opinion, as of right now, the bottom could be in. And I'm going to explain why that is. And that is only if these psychological levels hold with the bullish close on the daily above. Okay. So first, we're going to get into this day's worth of price action. You guys can kind of see here, we're on the 5-minute chart. We have Asia session, London session, New York. Now we know that the daily candlestick opens during the beginning of Asia session. And that's right here in this general vicinity. I know my charts are really pinched apart right now. I'll zoom in just 1 second. Right now, I'm just trying to get you guys to see a daily perspective. Let me maybe go to the 10-minute chart. Maybe that'll be a little bit clearer for you guys. Okay, beautiful. So we see Asia, London, New York. That's 1 day's worth of price action. And before I get into the nitty gritty of the price action, what I want you guys to understand is that this is, from a daily perspective, a daily candlestick high. On the fractal nature of things, I'm going to dive into detail on how the market manipulated price to the upside. We're going to go over this pattern in the form of price must go higher before it goes lower. Right here on the daily candlestick in the Asia manipulation window, I'm going to show you guys how price went higher before it went lower and created a daily candlestick swing high, or area of interest on the lower time frame that we would need to break and hold above from a daily perspective in order to see a bullish reversal. Same thing here. We come into the next trading day. We have Asia, London, and New York, and we see the same recognizable pattern where the market makers grab liquidity from highs before sending price lower, as above, so below. I'm going to get into that as well. Then I'm going to also get into May 9th and how we can compare some retail mindset traders on Twitter and YouTube that were giving out bullish scenarios, and how the market makers set up a buy trap as soon as they saw that conforming in the market, right? Banking institutions have access to Twitter and YouTube and all that. We have an institutional trader literally that is in CYPRX and can confirm that they are normal, every average day people, just like you and I, that work and operate at a trading floor. All right. They're not, it's not like, I don't think that people really truly understand that we're all humans on this earth. These markets aren't ran by like, I mean, I don't even know what people's imaginations, they run wild, but you have to understand that when people sit in their trading chairs, they are moving the market, making financial decisions just like you and I, except with much more technology and much more information. Okay. But they're still human beings. So anyways, I'm going to show you how they set up a retail trap, and I'm going to show you how today they executed that retail trap. And then us here at CYPRX, me and Milano, I don't know if a couple other students were able to catch it because they were focusing on GBP, JPY, but we were able to utilize the strategy, avoiding manipulation, trading certain times in the market, and caught this beautiful, for myself, it was a 1-to-4 risk to reward ratio on my leveraged account. Made a decent chunk of money today, withdrew that money, and then put that money into my long-term holdings in cryptocurrency. That's how I operate my bags, is I trade on a leveraged account, Ethereum, Bitcoin, and XRP on Osprey FX. And then I take that profit and allocate that profit into my long-term holdings. Again, not financial advice. That's just what I personally do to grow my bags long-term. Okay. So anyways, now that you guys kind of know what it is that I'm going to talk about, let's get into the first part of this daily candlestick transactional price action, where I'm going to show you guys why I think the 58-cent psychological level is the highest point in the form of a bullish level that we would need to break to confirm any type of reversal. Okay. So here in this area, before this major dump happened, this is where you can start to see the pattern as above, so below, or that price action must go higher before it goes lower. We know that banking institutions, or at least you should by now know, that banking institutions are the only people with the amount of money and volume to push price action this type of way. Now, that doesn't mean that us as retail traders in the herd can't influence price action, right? If all of us buy, freaking when everybody bought Shiba Inu at one time, it pumped the market, right? But what you have to understand on a day-to-day basis, us here as a retail trader, or you sitting at your living room trading whatever the heck you're doing, maybe you're out getting lunch, it doesn't matter where you are, you're placing a trade. You do not have the amount of money to manipulate the market this way. So when you see this type of pattern play out in the market, you as a trader have to understand that now smart money is involved in the market. And if you are going to take a position, you have to then ask yourself, now that I see smart money involved, how am I going to move in tandem with smart money, right? So right here, I'm going to show you guys how they started manipulating price. So I'm going to jump down now to the 5-minute chart, and we're just going to jump back to this day's worth of price action, starting all the way at this Asia session. Give me a second. Let me go to the 5-minute chart. Boom. Hit the replay button for you guys. Okay, cool. So starting over here on this day's worth of price action, why the 58-cent psychological level is unique and specific for me. I want to see price action hold and close above before I start putting in like a really bullish bet on XRP, where I'm like, okay, now the bottom could potentially be in, maybe we're reversing, right? So we see here during this Asia session manipulation window, we see early sellers and we see early buyers. Early sellers above highs, and also people that are willing to place buy stops above these highs if price does appreciate in value. They're looking to get entered into the market. Same thing, as above, so below. People are buying at these lows, and also they have sell stops beneath them in the order of willing to sell if price comes beneath these levels. So we see the market manipulate price. As soon as we come out of the manipulation region, we tap into these highs. This is the pattern right here, guys, where we can see the market makers pushing price action out of the manipulation window. They manipulated an order of liquidity in this manipulation window, came for that liquidity, and then sent price lower. So this is, again, the ideology behind the market makers have to send price higher to send price lower. Here's that pattern, the same thing that I attempted to draw for you guys right here. So now we can identify that. Once we've identified that, we then know, okay, now as retail traders, we can make the decision to either move in tandem with the market or sit and wait on our hands if we don't have a leveraged account and we can't sell price action for profit. If you don't have a leveraged account, like you're trading this on Uphold or something like that, you can't sell XRP for profit. But on a leveraged account, you can take sell positions on CYPRX, or, I don't know if FTMO or my forex funds allows you to trade XRP, but you can take a leveraged sell position. So how would you have done that? You see here, the market grabbed liquidity from highs, broke a previous market structure. All you would have had to do to move in tandem with the banking institutions, paying attention to what psychological levels they broke, around the 57-cent psychological level. We know that XRP is traded against the United States dollar. So what are we looking at? Quarter theory. That's the 25s, 50s, 75s, 00s, 25, 50, 75, 00s. We can see here, the market makers push price lower. We know they're the only people with the amount of money to do that. Price retraces into that sweet spot, 62 to 70% premium. And you guys can also see a rejection of a major psychological level, 57125. Okay, so you guys see here how the quarter theory plays out. We're looking at psychological levels. We're looking at the market makers making that pattern, which is a grab liquidity to highs, sending price lower. Now looking over at London session, okay? So we have to understand why I'm giving you guys the 58-cent psychological level. This is the last daily high where the market makers manipulated price before we completely tanked, okay? I went over this area of consolidation in a previous YouTube video, and I told you guys that I don't think XRP is done. I told you guys that I think XRP is gonna go anywhere between 48 to 30 cents. All right, so now here we broke out of that consolidation to the upside. Price on the daily made a high, and then we started melting in price. So 58 cents is that psychological level threshold, in my personal opinion, that we would need to see, logically speaking, on the daily time frame, price action break back above on XRP before we can confirm any bullish continuation. Okay, so that's one bullish target. Going into this London session, and watch what I'm about to do. I'm gonna blow your guys' mind how here in this area, during this trading session, the banks and institutions knew that retail traders were buying this dip. I'm going to correlate that with tweets from, Twitter pages that have more than 40,000 followers. All right. Just to show you guys that these bank and institutional traders are literally screwing everybody. Like, it's hilarious. It's actually kind of low key funny, especially if you're being ignorant in the market space and you think that you're bigger. Your ego is so big that you think that you're the best trader ever and that you can constantly make money without doing research. If you think that, you're going to constantly get annihilated, literally left and right. All right. So now jumping down to this price action, we're going to go to the 1 minute. I'm going to show you guys how London session formulated that same exact pattern on price action. As above, so below. They grab liquidity from highs before sending price lower. Let me zoom over. All right, so here we're still operating inside of that daily candlestick region. Again, we see Asia session. I explained to you guys that price action. Now look at what London session did during their manipulation region. Funny how the manipulation region, we can see that this is where the majority of the manipulation happens, which is why I display this to you guys on YouTube and why I tell it to the CYPRX students. This is an area for you guys to sit on your hands and wait patiently and see what the market is telling you it wants to do. And here in this area, we can see the market making that pattern again, grabbing liquidity from highs and making new lows. We know that when the market makes this type of pattern, the market makers are the only people that have the amount of money to manipulate price like this. You can see here, boom, they manipulate price to the upside to then give themselves premium to create new lows. They took sell positions. As soon as London session opened, the market makers put in a sell order after manipulating price. Okay, London session complete. Now coming over to New York session, look at what they did. The same exact freaking thing, guys. Look at the accuracy. Manipulation window starts. We come into the manipulation region, early sellers, early buyers. Early buyers, trendline liquidity in the manipulation region right here. We know that retail traders are looking at this potential area right here as a third touch. You guys can literally go and look at baby pips or Google, and it will tell you that the third touch of the trend line is the strongest touch of the trend line. So how many thousands of traders are trading that and getting annihilated from the market, right? And we can see that that took place during the manipulation region. Now, same pattern, again, we see the market makers breaking out of the manipulation region, grabbing that liquidity that started the manipulation region, and then sending price lower. So now we know that this entire day's worth of price action, what was the agenda here behind the banking institutions? The banking institutions were constantly giving themselves premium, manipulating people that are impatient in the market and trade prior to the session actually taking place, and then selling off, okay? Now, coming into this area right here, I want you guys to focus in on the dates because this is what I'm about to show you guys in correlation with the general retail herd. Okay, so right here in this general vicinity, we can see that this was May 9th and May 7th. Okay, so May 7th was when price started depreciating in value over here. May 7th, May 8th, we had that consolidation. May 8th was when the market dumped. And then May 9th, we created this bounce around 48 cents. Now, 48 cents, if you guys watch on YouTube or you pay attention to the Twitter, was the first bearish target that I had mentioned to you guys. I was letting you guys know that price still could decline. So I want you guys to pay attention to the price action on May 9th. We see a retail trap pattern. We see a double bottom formation right here. We see liquidity beneath lows. We know that if you go look at baby pips, you can read the pattern double bottom, and it'll tell you that this is where high price action at. Okay, that is how 90% of people trade, and that is why 90% of people lose. So now I'm going to show you guys, check this. Okay, look at the tweet, May 9th, bottoms in for XRP, held 50 cents. This guy, XRP whale, I cover his bullshit all the time. He has 50,000 followers. Okay, imagine how many people were like, oh my gosh, XRP whale tweeted this out. I need to go buy price action. Look at the trap. Look at the retail trap. May 9th, correlate the Twitter. He tweeted this out May 9th. Okay, look at the dates. May 9th is when the retail trap pattern started. Same thing over here. This guy has 44,000 followers. Benjamin Money Sign. I don't even know who this guy is, right? He said XRP is not going below 45 cents on May 7th. Why did he say that? Because price was consolidating on May 7th. That's where I just showed you guys the price, the banks of institutions. What were they doing? They were giving themselves the most premium price in this consolidation before grabbing liquidity from highs and selling off. The banking institutions know when retail money is acting like this. When they think that price can't go lower, trust and believe it has to go lower before it goes higher. So you guys can see how the dates are correlated. You guys can see how on those specific dates, banking institutions were setting up retail traps, okay? It's literally insane how it all correlates. So now let's go over here. Understanding that this retail trap and pattern was happening, I'd mentioned to you guys on YouTube that I was waiting for a further discount before I put in more buy positions, and that 48 cents was most likely not the floor. All right, and so boom, we had that retail pattern trap, and that is why I avoided trading here, because I saw that. I identified that, and I started marking this off. Now I want to show you guys how the elites were back in control of price action, manipulating people. Same thing, as above, so below. the market must go lower to go higher. I want to invert my charts for you guys. And I want to show you how this is the same pattern as above, so below. So look at this. This is a bullish scenario, but all I did was invert my charts. I want to show you guys how the banking institutions did the same exact thing. Here's the manipulation window during that pullback, and we can see early sellers and early buyers all in this area. The banking institutions gave themselves the most premium price. After grabbing liquidity, they melted out of the manipulation region to come and attack the other area of liquidity during that manipulation range. This was Asia session. Coming over here to London session, what can we see they did? They avoided the manipulation window. However, during the London session, they still pushed price above a high and then tanked price, took their sell positions only after giving themselves the most premium range, okay? Where as above, so below, we're looking at this from an inverted perspective. They're doing this to give themselves the most discounted price to then push price back up to give themselves the most premium range. So you guys can see here how London session did the same pattern. Now over during New York session, what can we see? The same exact pattern. Boom, we see a grab of liquidity from highs and a melt back down to lows. Now watch what happens when I invert my charts. Look at what the banking institutions were doing, guys. This is why I'm giving you the 54-cent psychological level as the next premium range that we would need to see price break back above. Because in this region, when they were manipulating price to the downside to give themselves more premium, what were they doing? That same pattern, okay? And that put price all the way on another daily candlestick high right here at 54 cents. And then they started taking sell positions. Watch this, New York session, same thing. They pushed price above a high right here during the London manipulation region, and then New York session took sells. So we have two bullish environments or two bullish targets where we would need to break back above on XRP to completely reverse the bearish sentiment. And that is 54 cents and 58 cents. So I'm kind of trying to break down for you guys why I label these psychological levels off and why people are like, bro, you're so accurate, da, 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 da. No, it's because I pay attention to where banking institutions manipulated price at certain psychological levels. So now you guys have my strategy, and this is how I get my psychological level targets A and B, okay? Where everybody's like, how are you so accurate? How do you predict this stuff? Da, 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 da. It's not that I predict this stuff. I go into chart detailistic perspectives on where the banking institutions involve themselves at and how they manipulated price in certain areas. Okay. So now this leads me over understanding that there was this retail manipulative trap underneath of 47 cents right here. I was simply waiting, and in today's price action, now we're going to go over to the trade today. I was waiting for that liquidity to get grabbed. So as soon as we break out of the manipulation region for New York session, zooming into this price action right here, I'll put the manipulation region box on for you guys. That's from 5:30 a.m. to 6 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, and that's 3 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. Okay, so here's the manipulation range. We can see early buyers in the manipulation region. As soon as we break out of the manipulation range, we come and we attack those buyers and immediately melt through that area of retail trap over to the left-hand side. As you guys can see, that retail trap from all these Twitter followers and blah, 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 tweeting out on May 9th and May 7th and May 8th that XRP bottom was in. You can imagine all the liquidity that was beneath these levels. Here at CYPRX, we trade against that. So I saw that amongst the current market space and sentiment, and I waited and sat on my hands to see if the banking institutions would come and grab that liquidity. As soon as we dumped into that area, I was like, okay, it's go time. Let's see if we can reject the psychological level and start to create the pattern. So with that being said, this is what I give you guys on YouTube. This is like this stuff, the general technical analysis that I give you guys disclosed on YouTube is what? This pattern right here, a rejection of a psychological level, 39800. Again, we're paying attention to the 00s, 25s, 50s, and the 75s. We see the market have a nice bullish match of momentum. So you see these three candlesticks. We had a nice bullish match of momentum, and it only took two candlesticks to completely match the bearish momentum. So we can identify this as a potential grab of liquidity. Why? Because we know the banking institutions are the only people with the amount of money to print candlesticks like this. After they do this, they create a significant higher low that leads to a market break and structure. Okay, so what you can see here is this high failed to break this one, but this high right here, this is where I identified it for you guys with the little blue arrow right above these highs. Okay, so simply all I did is now the market created another higher low and led to a break in structure. To catch this move, all I did was I took my Fibonacci from the low to the high, extended that over, waited for price to give me a 70 to 79% discount, and I entered all here in this area for a nice 1-to-4 risk to reward ratio. And again, we're waiting for the pattern to play out. You see here how in none of this price action in between, the pattern played out. So many people were literally chasing this bearish candlestick pressure. Okay, people were selling, people were putting sell positions all in this area. The general average retail investor literally FOMOs the crap into crypto. If they see bearish candlesticks, they freak out and they start selling. They see bullish candlesticks, they freak out, they start buying. So you can imagine how many people trading leveraged accounts were attempting to make money on XRP, selling, all in this area, chasing sells. All of this stuff was leveraged right here. Okay, then boom. What were the market makers doing? We know here at CYPRX, they were pushing into a retail trap that was set in place on May 9th from when all of the retail traders were thinking that this was the bottom based off of what the general herd was doing. Okay, you guys see how I'm freaking correlating all this stuff for you. It's literally insane. Okay, so you can see how as long as you're waiting for this pattern to play out, you're utilizing logic in the market surrounding your target expectations and what the banking institutions are doing, and only trading in tandem with what the banking institutions are doing based off of when you see a certain pattern in the market play out, it gives you what is called an edge in the market. And that is our goal here at CYPRX. We're not 100% traders all the time, but I can almost guarantee you that anybody that has started this program and really put in effort and elbow grease, and any of the students listening can shake their heads and nod right now, that your trading may go from 20, 30, 40% win rate to 60, 70, 80% win rate when you're done watching the CYPRX content, just based off of time in the market, identifying liquidity, properly knowing how to react to psychological levels, how to protect your capital, how to take profit, all the things that we go over here at CYPRX. So anyways, I hope that you guys liked this general video breakdown on why and what my confluences were leading up to this trade. Again, this is me just trading my leveraged account on Osprey FX. Beautiful addition to my XRP bags, because what I did is I allocated this profit into my long-term holdings. So pretty much what I want you guys to understand with that is I'm putting free money into this market, if that makes sense, right? It's money necessarily that I don't really have to spend my time to make, that I'm putting into this market that over time could make me, I mean, like, what if XRP one day really did go to 20 or $30? I'm willing to take that bet. So, you know, the $7,000 to $8,000 that I made this morning off this leverage trade, I allocated that, and I even told the students, into XRP, LCX, XDC, Casper, right? Diversifying the portfolio. This trade, okay, if you measure this out from bottom to top, only took 30 minutes, okay? So I don't know where else in the world you can make $7,000 to $8,000 in 30 minutes aside from these markets, okay? So blessings to you guys all. I'm happy that you all joined the Zoom call. I hope that my technical analysis perspective helped. I go into a much deeper dive in the CYPRX advanced material. This was just for YouTube and for the general public. I really do appreciate all the love and the support that everybody shows the page. I'm trying to wake people up. And I'm not saying that there aren't good traders out there on the internet, but I'm trying to definitely wake people up and show them that there are very few, okay? 90% of individuals out here in this market are, they're babies, straight up. They're children in this market. They're not grown-ups. They are always constantly bullish. And even in a bull market, okay, let's just say, for example, tomorrow, right? Tomorrow's the day that the market reverses and goes to new all-time highs. You still have to understand that as a trader, when the market does that, you have to be willing to set in place yourself a target area, because if you don't take profit, what is not guaranteed in this market is higher prices. And I try to convey that to the CYPRX students, is that when these prices do make new all-time highs, where are you seeking and are going to take profit to be financially comfortable? Where's that at for you individually? Everybody's chasing everybody else's bullish predictions and da. But I don't think people really understand that if you do that, when that level does come into fruition, you're not going to be ready to take profit, and you're probably going to miss the top, and the market is eventually going to retrace again and enter into a bear market, because it's a cycle. It's a fluctuation that has to happen. It's healthy for the market to do that. Okay. Now that's not to say it's going to happen right now or tomorrow, whatever the case may be, but as a trader, you have to learn how to not be greedy. And I mean in the sense of not be greedy when price is selling off and not be greedy when price is going up. And you have to understand that in order to give yourself an edge in this market, you have to create either some type of strategy on your own or get advice from a mentor or somebody who has experience in this market that is valid, right? CYPRX is an LLC. We're not just out here, toot fruiting around. I'd say right now we operate about $1.2 million in capital combined in profitable students. And with my portfolio, we're making an impact in this market. We're not here to just, I don't even know what people are doing right now in this market. Anyways, you guys, so that's going to lead me to the Okay, I hope that you all enjoyed the Zoom call breakdown. If you did, make sure that you smash that thumbs up button on your way out. Don't forget to subscribe to the YouTube channel. As always, be cognizant, be aware, and I'll see you guys in the next video breakdown. You all have an outstanding weekend. Coming into this next week's worth of price action, I'll make sure that I give you guys some brand new video uploads. I'm going to take a break for the weekend, digest the markets, and kind of just chill with my family and relax. I highly suggest that you guys detox and do the same exact thing. As always, be cognizant, be aware, and I'll see you guys in the next video breakdown.